I'd like to extend a really warm welcome to you all to the Science Gallery today for the launch of this exciting event, A Charter for 21st Century Learning. And what we're doing today is we've invited 40 students from all over the country to come in and actually sit down together with education stakeholders, so people from the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, from Educate Together, from DCU, from the university here in Trinity, and to think about how they would like their school to look like in the 21st century, to imagine if they could actually design their curriculum, what would it look like? What way do they want to learn? How do they want to learn? What systems do they want to have in place for learning?
The Taoiseach is going to receive a report, I understand, from the work of this group, which will prove for very interesting reading.
We're here to listen to what you have to say. I really would like to hear what comes from the seminar. So to everyone, congratulations, every best wish. And as I said, I do hope that we will have new ideas, great ideas.
Like we've been talking about different places we could learn, like different ways of educating ourselves and incorporating like different systems in order to educate yourselves in a different way and like do more practical things.
We've been talking a lot about the examination system, the Leaving Cert, and what we'd like to change in that. And basically I think the general consensus is more kind of generally during the year you should kind of give a general proof that assessment that you've learned something, and then that kind of contributes towards the end, because everyone finds that the kind of Leaving Cert system is quite oppressing and it doesn't give people a chance to be creative with how they show that they learn things.
So the outcome of today is going to be a 10-point charter for 21st century learning that we're going to submit to An Taoiseach that was here to launch the initiative today. And this is going to be 10 bullet points developed by the students in the room behind me and by the stakeholders working with them about what they would like their future learning to be.
Our idea is to extend the school year but have a compulsory section of it being experience, like not necessarily just work experience, but more kind of applied learning.
Right, well there's a good description I think of a great manifesto point, that the structure of school needs to be changed, there needs to be more emphasis on real life learning.
A sort of focus on personal development, and so like we thought this was really important. It's like sort of team skills and working in groups and stuff like that, because when you go into the workforce, when you go into college, that's a lot of the work that you'll be doing. Emotional intelligence, like so empathy, stuff like that, like they're really important to learn when you're in school.
If you were tested on your ability and your skills rather than just your memory, because at the moment it's just a lot about learning off stuff, and instead of just getting your results and like a sheet saying like English B, Irish A, whatever, that you get kind of a CV styled result, which as well as listing like what you got in the exams, it would also list your extracurricular stuff and or list kind of all the things you got involved with in the school.
So building on what they said, we were saying that students should be allowed to choose the proportion of the marks that they will earn from a simple assessment, from a simple exam paper, versus continuous assessment and so on and so on.
We kind of had a similar idea to the table over there, and we called it the credit system, and we said it's more flexibility on how we're assessed.
I think for science junior cert, your practical, you can do it in a group. I mean, you can do it in two, like with another student, which I think is really good, because that's just one thing where you can actually work in a group, and I think more of that, our whole group kind of agreed that that'd be a good way to go.
A change in the structure of schools. So it came up with, there's kind of an imbalance at the moment. There's textbook learning and then there's technology, and we were thinking there needs to be a halfway point between the two.
The teaching styles at present, they might have to change, so that means the way teachers are taught, like teaching schools, teaching training, and the current style of assessment will have to change for this to work.
We believe that teachers are guides, and that through stimulative conversation in a tutorial-based environment, that will encourage an independent thinking in secondary school students. We believe that if teachers start conversations and that leave students their own devices to talk between themselves in groups of maybe 5 or more, that they'll develop their conversational skills, develop their interview skills, and grow more confident.
Flexibility, choice, and being assessed or somehow measured on what you can do and what you have developed over the 6 years would be very much the way that I think we would certainly like to see the whole measuring, or that transition from school into the workplace. how do you write on a piece of paper how well somebody does that? And it is to do with what was said down there, certificate of achievement rather than a number of points on a piece of paper.
And we're going to have to move to a situation of much more trusting young people to learn from each other, and that's come across a lot of tables.
Yeah.
Because certainly in the area of technology, they're already ahead of most of the adults anyway. So this idea of democratisation of what they do.
What I hear you saying is that there needs to be more outlets for people to express their own interests and pursue those interests and develop particular types of skills that would suit them in whatever career lies ahead of them. And that would be a massive change, because if you go back 50 years, we were preparing almost everybody for a job in the civil service. And if you go forward 50 years, what kind of world will it be? We need to be preparing people for all sorts of different worlds and different skills and, attributes and things. So, to have that brought out so clearly here has been fantastic.
If we think in 20 years' time and we hear the word Reformation, we don't want to just hear about how Martin Luther did the whole Reformation and the Catholic Counter-Reformation. We want to hear about the Reformation of the Irish education system, because, after all, it is us that'll be here in 20 or 30 years' time hosting one of these events for the next generation. So we can say, okay, well, we thought up this and now it's in place. So you can think of extravagant things that are way, way bigger and you couldn't possibly think of ever happening, and you never know, because they might just come back into place, and you can proudly say that you had your part in that and that you have made a difference in the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in our country.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. That's, there's really, really powerful stuff there. I hope that we can find a way of expressing all of that. We'll put up the ideas that Orla has written down for us in a big long line, and then all of us, can I invite you to just walk along in any direction, doesn't matter, read the ideas, read them all, and then go back and put dots on the ideas that you think are the best ideas. Okay? We've got a clear winner, as far as I can see, which is, this one here. It's a kind of a blending together to do with the way in which assessment happens.
I find sitting in the group in there just discussing it makes it a lot easier. It makes you find out a lot more than you think you did.
It's time for change, and our whole world that we're living in is changing, and there's no point having an education system that is valid for 50 years ago. I mean,
just meeting everyone and seeing this place, it's really seeing how inspiring, really, to be honest.
So, thank you very much. What a great day all round.
I wanted to just ask you to give yourselves and also your facilitators, Sean and Paul and Orla, maybe a bit of a round of applause as well for all their work today.